Hello, guys. Hello, 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 hello. I have another few reviews for you. The first review that I'm going to do of these three films, I'm gonna make it a mystery. I'm gonna let y'all guess in suspense. Am I doing an independent feature? Am I doing a big feature? Am I doing an independent feature? You'll never know until I tell you. And the first movie that I'm actually going to be reviewing is the latest A24 release, The Smashing Machine. The Smashing Machine is the latest film directed by Benny Safdie, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. And it is about UFC legend, Pride competitor legend Mark Kerr and his relationship with his girlfriend, then wife, Dawn. Uh, and this film covers about 3 years of his career between 97 and 2000, really showing the birth of the UFC as we know it now, showing off that Mark Kerr was the pioneer that he was. This film is both written and directed by Benny Safdie of the Safdie brothers. If you're not familiar with their work, I will refer you to go see Uncut Gems and another film they did with Robert Pattinson called Good Time. Um, right off the bat, this film is pretty good for a solo joint. Like I said, this is his first film that he's not doing with his brother Josh, who's doing another film that's coming out later this year, starring Timothy Chalamet, called Marty Supreme. But we're not talking about Marty Supreme. We're talking about the Smashing Machine. And right off the bat, uh, I'm just gonna get into it. I don't think this movie is. Uh, I don't think this movie is excellent. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that this movie is a bit of a mess, like some of the naysayers are saying. But I don't think that it's the mess in the same way as some other people who reviewed this film are saying. I think that this film is honestly is under the category of a biopic, but I think this is the antithesis of what a biopic is. You know, it's not a cradle to the grave type of rendition of one man's life, and it is a short period in the subject matter's life. However, I feel that this film isn't like the Hollywood version of the biopic. I think this film is very real. I think this film is authentic. The way that this film has a level of grit to it, and I just think that it's not what you would consider a traditional biopic, and it doesn't have like a solid put together through line. If anything, this film is just a series of vignettes, if you ask me, that shows off the um, it shows off the performances. Basically, it's definitely a character driven performance piece for Dwayne Johnson. So this film is definitely not your traditional biopic that leads you from point A to point B to point C and so on and so on and so forth. It doesn't have that narrative through line. And to me, for me, you know, as a movie fan, as a cinema fan, who's seen a lot of films, I can say that I found it refreshing for it not to be a paint by the numbers biopic film showing Mark Kerr doing the fighting and showing off the fights and just being basically like real life Rocky or real life Warrior. I like the fact that it's actually it's a character drama. It's a character driven piece. It's breaking down the essence of who the subject matter is, and I find that to be a refreshing take on the biopic. I think that Dwayne Johnson, if we're just gonna go straight to the positives, let's go straight to the positives now, because I had to get that out the way. I will say, like I said, narrative wise, this film is middle of the road. It's okay, it's serviceable. But if you're going to this film for performance, and you're going to see going to the film to pique that curiosity of, can Dwayne Johnson really act? Can he really pull off going into character, diving into the psyche, becoming one with the person that he's portraying? Is that possible? I would say this film is phenomenal based on performance alone. If that's the reason why you came to see this movie is definitely phenomenal. It succeeds. It succeeds at that. It succeeds at um, Dwayne's performance and him showing that he has the goods. Me, I've always been a fan of Dwayne Johnson. I've always believed in him as a performer. Um, Prior to him digging into like all these action movie roles that he's been playing for like the last decade, I really believe that he had the goods to pull off something like this. I mean, if you watch a show like Ballers, or if you watch Pain and Gain, Pain and Gain is one of my favorite Dwayne the Rock Johnson acting performances. If you see Snitch, you can see that this person him as an actor, him doing character work, him showing range and living or embodying more than the charisma that we know Dwayne Johnson for. You know, you could see that this guy has the goods, that he can act. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Smashing Machine, Dwayne was acting. He was acting. Shoot, there was certain scenes in this film that had me just like curl up into in my seat. Like I was just like, it was like watching. It was like having that friend, right? And he invites you over for a couple of drinks. Then his girl comes in, and his girl just picks a fight for like no reason. Like she just be like, I don't like the fact that this room has olive paint all on the walls, and he's like, well, I like the color olive, and then they all of a sudden they just start yelling at each other, and you try to get up, and your friend's like, no, you sit the hell down. I'm gonna be done with her in a minute. We gonna keep on watching this sporting event. You like, I just want to go. Like that's the feeling I had. Like I was just like, I just want to. I don't want to be here, dog. This is between y'all, man. I don't want to. I ain't even in this relationship. That's what he conveyed in this film. That's what him and his scene partner Emily Blunt, who I'm about to get to in a second, both were able to convey expertly in their performances that I really liked. And it's kind of weird to say that I really liked that tense, weird feeling of I don't dog. I don't want to be here, man. I just came here to get some Cheetos and some hot fries and watch the game. I ain't really want to be here and watch you argue with your girl, Doc. I ain't signed up for this, man. Um, Man, those arguing scenes, man, in this movie, man, those are something to behold. Like I think that's when Dwayne, in his micro acting, oh wow, he really impressed, um, and I really just enjoyed that aspect in a morbid sense. I enjoyed that aspect of the film, just watching these two just go at it, and you just stuck on the couch, and you was like, "Dog, why am I here?" And so Dwayne was able to nail those scenes. He nailed the quiet moments. Um, I come from a entertainment background, um, uh, theater kid, comedian, and I can tell you when I was sitting down watching the small moments like him training for the fight or before a fight, and those micro acting that he does with his face, the expressions that he makes with his face, um, really was impressive. That's the type of stuff that I look for. I like to see the subtle acting because you can yell and scream and go big, but like, can you convey what you're feeling or what the character's feeling through your eyes convincingly? Um, can you tell a whole story and not say a single word? and it's just your face alone. And I feel like Dwayne, he nailed that. And while the movie, in my opinion, is not perfect on a narrative wide, on a narrative sense, on a narrative tip, I definitely think that this movie is excellent on the performance tip. And there's been a lot of hype. Hopefully he doesn't lose steam, because I would like to see Dwayne get nominated for this performance. I didn't say win. There's a lot of other movies coming out this year, but I'll definitely would like to see this performance get nominated, because I think he really did his thing on it. But you're only as good as your scene partner. And Emily Blunt, come to the stage, please. Um, Emily Blunt as Dawn. I know a lot of critics are saying that they did Dawn kind of dirty, like the real person kind of dirty, and I'm inclined to agree, because like um, you you're really not on her side in this film at all at any point. And I just think that that's not a failing of the performance. It's more so the failing of the script. But the character that she was playing, and those emotions that she was playing, and a pivotal moment that happens in the movie that she was playing, boy, this girl can act. This woman, not sorry, not girl. This woman can act. She did her thing performance wise. Um, she made me feel some emotions. She really made me feel some emotions. I felt some type of way a few times in this movie, and I just got to give her flowers. And if Dwayne should get nominated, I think she should definitely get her second nomination. She was nominated for Oppenheimer a couple years ago, but I definitely she should get her second nomination for off of this film based on performance alone, because she brought it. And I think it takes a capable scene partner to bring out the best. And I really feel like her and Dwayne and their just natural chemistry, they brought out the best in each other in this movie. And I really feel that like Emily Blunt was very solid. She's always been a solid performer, but I think she's really solid in this. And the journey that she takes an audience member on in her role in this film, um, yeah, kudos to her. Kudos to her. She did her thing. She did her thing. To quote another YouTuber, she an all star. Uh, but yeah. So I hope she gets nominated for this too. And then Ryan, I'm a butcher's last name. I believe Ryan Bader, who is a mixed martial artist himself, playing Mark Coleman in this film. Wow, wow, dog, yeah, he can act. Homeboy can act. That's all I really got to say about that. I know he was playing another fighter, because he's a fighter, so he probably got some notes on playing his real life person. But he was really good in this. And honestly, at some points of the film, I was more caught up in his character's relationship with Mark Kerr in this film, more so than Mark Kerr and his girlfriend turned wife. Um, that friendship dynamic, that brotherhood, was something that I really gleamed onto. It was really just like beautiful just to see that. And I just really, I don't know, I just really love seeing that dynamic. I just love seeing that friendship. And I really hope, hey man, maybe he has a future in this acting stuff, because um, he was good. He was good in this. He was really good in this. But um, I just like I said, those three performances really stuck out. Bass Rutten, who's and I know him from the Kevin James MMA movie that came out like a couple years ago. Um, but he's a fighter as well. He plays himself. Um, it was nice to see him play himself. Um, but I just think this movie is just really excellent. Performance wise, it's a really excellent film. I think that Benny Safdie, who is also an actor, by the way, he's not just a director. If you've seen Oppenheimer, he was in Oppenheimer. It was kind of like a little Oppenheimer reunion because Emily Blunt, she was in Oppenheimer. But to see um, him as a director bring the best out of his performers in this film was really impressive. There were some shots in this film. There was some one shot like tracking shot that was in this movie that was really eye popping. Really caught my attention. I really liked seeing. I really like one shots, and this one shot really stuck out to me. Um, and so that was something I want to compliment. I love the camera work on this film, the cinematography from Maceo Bishop, the way that captured like kind of felt like a '90s, early 2000s film. The way that it was able to capture that was really impressive. I really like the music too, but Nala Sinapro, she's a jazz musician from Belgium, and I got the album or the soundtrack or whatever you call this, the score. I got it after that because I really liked some of the score. And I'm gonna play it before I do some stand up. I'm just gonna have that in my headphone. 'Cause I really like the music cues, and as somebody who does stand up comedy, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's the same as the fight game, but that hunger to be great that Dwayne portrayed through Mark Coleman, not Mark Coleman, Mark Kerr, is something that I felt within me. So I felt like kind of like a kindred spirit in that essence. And so, um, you know, I just thought that was conveyed really well too, as well. So that's my take on the Smashing Machine. I would give the Smashing Machine 3 out of 5 stars. Um, it's definitely something that you should see um, in the theater. I think Dwayne Johnson gives his career best performance, and I feel like he should be Oscar nominated. So should Emily Blunt. I think that Benny Safdie directed some very good performances in an otherwise messy narrative. Uh, nice little vignettes. So there you go, 3 out of 5. Her next film is Good Boy. Yes, yes, yes. I saw this new 2025 horror film that's going to be on AMC Plus and Shudder, I believe, in a month. Um, if you don't know the premise, Good Boy is a horror film told from the perspective of the dog. And I really feel like that was kind of a inventive take on the haunted house genre. This film directed by Ben Leonberg, um, and I think that just telling this type of story from the POV of a dog was pretty interesting, pretty intriguing. As a dog lover and prior owner myself, I'll be honest with you, I would have got out that house a lot sooner than him, but obviously for obvious reasons. And there's also a likelihood that if I'm in a haunted house, that ghost is racist. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that show me a black ghost, I'll show you a liar. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically essentially the premise. Basically, dog owner in a haunted ass house with a demon ghost spirit or whatever. I thought it was just a really inventive take. I like the way it was written. I thought the cinematography from Wade Grebno was intriguing. I like the use of shadows and the lighting of this film. I think that Indy, the main dog, acted his little dog ass off in this movie. I thought the movie was deliberately paced for a horror movie. The way modern horror films are now is kind of a lot flashier, a very quicker paced. But I didn't mind that this film was deliberately paced and it built up to the scares. I actually kind of applaud that. And wow, man, Shudder. Ah man, last year Late Night with the Devil, and now this man, y'all doing your thing, man. I can't wait to watch it again on AMC Plus. November. I don't know why I said November like that. Hold on, I'm on the Wikipedia to see the exact release date. So you go. So I mean, I say watch in the theaters, but if you want to watch it at home, I ain't gonna hate on you for it. I mean, I might call you a wuss for waiting for it to come TV and not spending that hard earned money. Because movies should be seen on the big screen. But I mean, if you if you're too scared, you can just stream it. Let's see. When does it go on? AMC Plus. I don't like the ending, by the way. Good movie. I don't like the ending because it's I'm not gonna give it away. You know, um, okay, there goes Sherman. I'm not gonna give it away. I just don't like the ending because I like endings that make me smile. Um, I prefer that dark or good ending. I like endings that make me smile. They make me smile. Okay, November. I just know it comes in November. All right. Forbes ain't telling me it either because they hating. They stay hating. Um, okay, so this said 6 weeks before it hits Shutter. I guess. I'm just gonna sit here in silence. This is bad. This is bad, but this is bad for TV. Just stare at me, but this is gonna bug the hell out of me. I don't want to be up in the middle of the night, like, when does this movie come out? Did I lie to my audience? When does this movie come out? So, I mean, bear the hell with me, okay? Don't hate. All right, November 21st. I said the 7th, the 21st. So, you have over a month to check it out on the big screen or just rent it. But I mean, if you don't want to be a wuss about it, go see it on the big screen. Um, and so I think just like with Smash Machine, this movie deserves to be seen on the big screen. I really like when directors take big chances, big swings at high concepts like this. I just felt like the pacing could have been better, and I felt like the ending could have been handled a little bit more delicately, or not delicately. I just felt like the ending could have been changed. Other than that, this movie is. I'm gonna go three. I'm gonna go 3 out of 5, just like Smash Machine. Um, I think that this movie has very entertaining spots. If you're a dog person and you just love dogs, you're definitely gonna like this movie a lot. I just feel like you should listen to his dog sooner. He should have listened to his dog sooner. Shouldn't have stayed up in that house. That would have been me. I said that. I said that as the movie ended. I'm like, that wouldn't be me. So check that out. And then let's get to our final movie. Um, and then, I might be back tomorrow because I'm watching The Lost Bus right now. So I might be back on tomorrow for a review for that. Separate from the 3 reviews that I did here. Matthew McConaughey, it gets the special treatment. McConaughey. But the last movie that I seen, I went to a special screening, a surprise screening for Roofman. Yes, Roofman by the latest film starring Channing Tatum, directed by, I'm butcher his last name. So we're gonna go on the same journey that we went with good boy Derek Cianfrance. And if you don't know who Derek Cianfrance is, I implore you to watch a little movie that came out a decade ago, a decade or so ago, called A Place Beyond the Pines. Um, I like Derek Cianfrance. He also did Blue Valentine, which has a very graphic doggy style love scene between the guys and Michelle Williams. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about The Roof Man, based on a true story about Jeffrey Manchester. He is a guy who burgled places through the roof and ingenuity and shit like that. and he ended up getting arrested. And then he breaks out of jail, and he's on the run for 6 months. And somehow he has time to find himself in a little relationship, and wackiness ensues. I did look up the real case afterwards. I mean, I'm just glad it wasn't dramatic or tragic, um, because whew, this movie's funny, and I would have felt bad for laughing at tragedy. So I'm glad that robbery wasn't dark. I think that um, this is the second film I've seen from Derek Cianfrance. Place Beyond the Pines is like a classic amongst a lot of cinephiles. Um, I like Place Beyond the Pines. I don't like it to the degree that like all the cinephiles like it. You know, I'm not blowing the movie, but I will say that Roof Man I found to be a little more fun than Place Beyond the Pines. I think that Channing Tatum gives a very entertaining, charming performance. And Channing Tatum's a performer that I used to hate on back in the day, and it wasn't until like he did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, dramatically, comedically, it was 21 Jump Street that got me on the Channing Tatum train. And I think Channing Tatum, this is like his this is like his my favorite like comedic dramatic performance of his. Gambit's my favorite performance of his from Deadpool Wolverine. He had me holding my sides, man. I was running out of breath, man. I felt like my lungs exploded. He was hilarious in that. But this one, he gives a very earnest performance, and in Roofman, I really found his journey with the character to be compelling. I think that Kirsten Dunst is good in this as well. She was a pleasant surprise. What she had to do with that character and how to convey that relationship between him and her in this film was nice work as an actor. So I like the work that they did there. I think Peter Dinklage, the Dink, I feel like he needed more screen time because I like Peter Dinklage as a performer as well. But I just think he was in this film enough for me. Ben Mendelsohn is in this film. Spoiler: I didn't know Ben Mendelsohn was in this film. Ben Mendelsohn is one of my favorite character actors. So I was really happy to see him. And I was like, "Ooh, shit, Ben Mendelsohn. Okay, it's a good time." That was my actual reaction. I was holding pizza in my hand. I was like, "Ooh, shit!" And then some pizza fell on my shirt, and I was like, "Damn, I can't get this shit off my shirt." So yeah, that's a two thumbs up for me when you did. Oh shit! Oh shit! I gotta clean my shirt. Uh, so yeah, high praise. Um, I think that the story is intriguing. It made me look up the actual story after the movie. Um, I think that Lakeith Stanfield's in this movie as well. Um, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Lakeith Stanfield's in the movie. So General Tempo, and I just think that the movie, narrative wise, was solid. It was put together. It wasn't a series of vignettes. The movie was paced at a good pace. It feels kind of odd to say this movie was kind of like a crowd pleaser. It's very weird to say that. It feels like it's a crowd pleaser, but it's a crowd pleaser. It pleased the crowd. People clapped. I didn't clap though. I nodded. I was like, yeah, all right. People clapped though. I did. So, Roofman, man. I don't think there's much more that I can say. Um, I think I like the performances. Basically, the narrative was put together well. Uh, there's nothing that sticks out cinematography wise. Nothing that stuck out musical score wise. I didn't have like those things outside of performance to grasp on like I did with Smashing Machine and Good Boy. I just thought it was just a fun time based on a true story. But a guy who broke out, who keeps breaking out. Obviously, prison doesn't suit him. He doesn't like prison. Um, and so those are my reviews for those films. Oh, I didn't give you a star rating on that one. So, Roofman, The Roof Man. Roof Man. Roof Man gets 3.5 out of 5. And the reason why it gets that point 0.5 is the narrative was competent and it was shrunk together. Um, 3.5 out of 5. I feel solid about saying that. 3.5 out of 5, Alex. That's the game. So yeah, those are my reviews. Please see I'm gonna implore you to see all 3 of those films in theaters. Just check them out in theaters. Unless you a bitch and want to watch them on streaming, check them all out in theaters. I think you're gonna have a good time. Oh snap! I forgot to talk about the new Play Dirty movie. We'll talk about Play Dirty when I'm talking about Lost Bus tomorrow, so you can get 2 shows of reviews. But this review is over. I'm gonna keep doing that. So anyway, hello. Johnny loves movies. Please like and subscribe. I see y'all 2 and 2.